Would you like me to scare you in a big way?
Yes.
Here's how it goes down, worst case scenario. Hackers gain widespread access to the microphones on all of our smart speakers, and they turn them on all at once, recording everything that we say around them. Now, no one's going to sit down and listen to everything all of us says, but you add additional technologies on top of that. Speech-to-text technology that converts everything we say into the text, which is exactly what these smart speakers do themselves behind the scenes. And then an artificial intelligence software program goes through everything all of us says and looks for keywords and clues. Maybe it's a fight with your spouse. Maybe you're bitching about the boss. Maybe it's that adult video you're watching with the volume up. And eventually that artificial intelligence points out the people who are ripe for blackmail. That is the worst case scenario. The risk is great, and it's great for so many more of us. 1 in 4 owners of a smart speaker had already told us before Christmas that they planned to buy one for someone else, and almost half who already had one planned to buy one for themselves, a second one put in the house as well. Adobe did a study that concluded 1 in 3 consumers now own one of these, and that's up 14% in just a year. So when you put a microphone in your house, like you recall, back in the 70s, we were all afraid of the government spying on us. Now we're actually putting these spy devices in our homes deliberately. You have very little choice but to trust the company whose microphone you put in your home, with one exception. There's a thing called VPN, Virtual Private Network. What a virtual private network does is it's an account you buy from someone else. You pay a monthly fee. And what it does is it routes all of your internet traffic that comes out of your house through them, as opposed to directly to the location you're trying to get to. And that gives you a layer of privacy, so people can't see what websites you're surfing on or the credit card number you've just entered into Amazon.ca. And it then routes all of that information out as though it came from their computers, and it's all encrypted. It's not an expensive monthly fee, but if you're not very technically inclined, you can get what's called a VPN appliance. It's a little box that accomplishes the same thing. Everything that gets routed out of your house goes through this little black box first. The issue with a VPN is whether or not they're keeping track of you while you are surfing through them. And the best ones on the market do not keep log files. So whether it be a government organization or a hacker, they can't go to that VPN and say, what was that guy up to? Tell me everything that's going on. Which is why it's very popular, not just for people who want to keep their privacy for the sake of keeping their privacy, but for people who are surfing the internet for less appropriate things.
Right.
One of the best things about a lot of these VPN services is that in addition to protecting your home while you're surfing the internet at home, is you can also grab them and have the software for your phone. So when you're out and about at a Starbucks, and Wi-Fi access points in cafes are the most exploitable out there because the barista's not interested in keeping up to date on the internet security settings. So with that in mind, VPNs will often also protect your phone when you're surfing the internet. So whether it be in a cafe, a Wi-Fi hotspot at an airport, or anything like that, it's money well spent.
And so that VPN that you would buy for your home can also be can you upload it through the cloud or something onto your phone? Is that what you're saying? Or?
It's a dedicated app for your phone as well.
Oh,
and so once you click that button that says protect me, everything that you do on your phone gets routed to that VPN computer, gets encrypted along the way, and then gets regurgitated out to the internet as though it was coming from them, not from you. What you really want to do, though, is before you put any of these types of Internet of Things devices, IoT devices, into your home, ask yourself where it's coming from and if you can trust them. My broad-based recommendation, don't buy any of those dirt cheap security cameras that come from China. Not specifically because we're worried about the Chinese watching every move we make in our homes, but because there's a low-cost component to this. Those chips aren't cheap, and companies will will cut corners and try to avoid having to put the money into updating those chips to ensure that any security flaws or bugs that can be exploited are patched. So you have a lot of these devices, from baby monitors all the way up, that are insecure broadly and can be easily accessed by anyone, just the same way I described.
So you want to stick with those name brands, or do we want to do some research to see, are they made in China? Are they trying to pinch pennies here, or are there certain brands that you would recommend people gravitate towards? Not as an advertisement, but
you absolutely need to do your research before you plug the thing in. The major players all have the money behind them to ensure that there are updates to software patches and things like that in case an exploit is discovered. But the little guys who are selling you the dirt cheap stuff, they have no interest in that. There's no money in that. There's no profit in that for them. So keep a close eye out on who you're putting in your house, and ultimately at the end of the day, you can add a VPN, a box or software or what have you, to your home. But if at the other end of the equation, they're not protecting what you've said to them and that they're storing on their servers, then you're still at risk. Chances are you've got a geek in your life like me, and over the holidays you're going to pull them aside and get them to fix the problem with your laptop. While you're at it, get them to check the firewall settings on the router, that box that acts as the traffic cop between the internet and your home. Make sure the firewall is on. A lot of those routers also have the ability to turn VPN services on as well, so you can have that privacy built into the box. So get a geek over to the house, save yourself $150 if you can, and you'll be able to at least ensure that everything that leaves your house is encrypted.